This is my Trustpilot review of the Law Society, the Legal Practitioners Club, their organisation, the Solicitors Club, that's set up to represent and protect solicitors. It's their protection racket. This review of the Law Society, the subject matter is about how English probate solicitors use a probate application option known as power reserved. They misuse it as a fraud. They misuse it as a fraudulent method of excluding and sidelining legally named executors that are legally named in the will as executors. And they do this even if they weren't involved in writing the will in the first place. I'll start to read it now. This is a warning to anyone who may be an executor of a will or even a beneficiary now or in the future. English wills and probate solicitors are a crooked, greedy, even criminal bunch, and have set up a completely fraudulent, crooked method of removing legally named executors of wills through probate application fraud. I have found this out myself through what I've suffered through it being done to me by a solicitor who is a wills and probate solicitor. They do this by using an unnecessary and very dubious probate option known as power reserved that has been deliberately inserted into the process for them to use it in this way. I don't think this fraud is even possible in many other countries. All the courts and probate registries of England are complicit in this with the probate solicitors because they actively include this dubious, harmful, unnecessary option on the application form, yet clearly have some sort of pre-arranged agreement with the solicitors, in brackets, probably through the Law Society, close brackets, to turn a blind eye and say it's nothing to do with them if a victim of this solicitor's scam reports to them and turns to them for help. So this is fraud with the tacit agreement of the solicitors and the probate registries, therefore the courts. I was even told by a witch legal probate solicitor that if I told the probate registry what had been done to me, they wouldn't be too interested. And when I did so, they weren't. So this obviously involves collusion between the Law Society and the courts. This witch legal solicitor was appalling in the way he addressed me, questioning why I was even raising the issue. "Didn't you get any money?" he asked me. I felt so badly about him that I made a complaint about him to Witch Legal. Another time I spoke to him, he actually admitted that many probate solicitors use power reserved to sideline executors, and that he had even done so himself. 3 other witch legal solicitors were also very unhelpful. They were useless. They were shockingly unhelpful, disturbingly unhelpful, troublingly unhelpful. Especially when you consider they were being paid to help people. The solicitor who defrauded me of my executorship and abused me terribly is a white English Cumbrian named Richard. I am a black Londoner, director of Geddy and Sons, Gedye, Grange over Sands, Cumbria. Involved with him are my own so-called brother, Stephen, a police officer in the British Transport Police, his English solicitor sister-in-law, Emily, a family lawyer, then with the notorious city firm Withers, whom I have never met, never spoken to, yet she secretly interfered in my mother's estate that she had no business with. And she was in contact with the solicitor of Geddy and Sons, whom she introduced my brother to, discussing power reserved. And she was in contact with others in the firm Geddy and Sons, such as Mark, probate manager. Although the firm is based in Grange over Sands, Cumbria, Richard invited me to a meeting room at 15 Old Bailey, London, and abused me in his meeting room. Even though I never instructed him, even though he has nothing to do with me. I'm none of his business. The fraud these probate lawyers pulled on me also involved perjury on the part of both the firm and my police brother, since they enabled him to swear a false oath to the Manchester High Court of Justice that he had informed me in writing of his intention to apply for probate in his sole name, even though there were 2 other executors named in the will. Emily, his sister-in-law, even helped him sign the probate oath in her office, knowing it was false, so she knowingly took part in the perjury and fraud. They also never informed me when they received the grant of probate in my brother's name only, and they then used the grant of probate with his name only on it. 2 executors excluded, my uncle also. They then used that grant of probate to legitimize carrying out the estate administration behind my back and behind our uncle's back, making decisions, even including selling houses, without my consent, my uncle's consent, or our signatures. When I questioned them on this, they, including the probate manager Mark, refused to answer. Even when I asked for the attendance notes of the meeting I was invited to at 15 Old Bailey in London, the City of London, mind you, the City of London, by Richard, where he ambushed, abused, lied to me, and pushed his power reserved fraud on me. I was told I couldn't have them because I wasn't an executor. They told me I wasn't an executor because my name wasn't on the grant of probate, because they had deliberately manipulated that. This was a blatant lie that I wasn't an executor, which they repeatedly told me. And they treated me like I wasn't an executor. They treated me with contempt. They treated me like crap. This was a blatant lie because I later found out that probate law states that an executor's authority is derived from the will and not from the grant of probate. This is where the fraud comes from. People need to know about this fraud probate solicitors do behind unsuspecting, vulnerable executors' backs to remove them, with the complicity of the Probate Registries of England, therefore the English courts. If someone doesn't want to act as an executor, they can simply renounce if they haven't yet involved themselves in administration. So why have the power reserved option where an executor is induced to step down but not renounce, and told you can still apply for probate at a later date? It is a con carried out on me, an unsuspecting layman that knew nothing about probate, by this Gideon Son's solicitor, Richard, who had 30 years' experience as a solicitor. He took advantage of me as an unsuspecting layman, which is against solicitors' regulation authority rules. But don't expect them to enforce their rules, because their rules are just there for show. Check my Google review of Gideon Sons. I put that in the review years ago, but now if you were to check my Google review of Gideon Sons, you wouldn't find it, because Google have removed it after it being up for years, maybe 10 years or almost 10 years. They removed it without notice, without informing me in any way, shape or form. They didn't send me any emails. They used to send me emails telling me that my review had gotten so many reviews, this many reviews. Then they simply stopped sending those emails, and they never told me that they had removed the review. I had to find out myself. Check the website nortonpescott.com also. This is a website made by another victim of English wills and probate solicitors, Norton Pescott. Similar things were done to him that were done to me. Appalling things, even worse things were done to him that were done to me. he struggled to even keep from committing suicide. It was so terrible. And it was through reading his website that I learned that the things that had been done to me had been done to him and done to others also. Yeah, and that's it. That's the things that had been done to me. Some of the things that had been done to me had been done to him. And was there anything else I wanted to say? I think there might have been something else I wanted to say, but I can't remember. So I'm just going to keep it short like that. This is it.